Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
More Michigan restaurants on the brink of closing if another pause or shutdown continues. So are those restaurants going to defy orders and open or not?
Happy weekend eve. Never too early to look ahead, but is the forecast worth it?
All right, Ben, but we're going to begin with the coronavirus and a troubling rise in the number of new cases. The state reporting 7,146 new cases over the past day. That new case count has gone up every day this week. State also reporting another 175 deaths. It includes 112 from a review of vital records. Now, as the numbers remain high, time is running out on the governor's 3-week pause. So the big question now is, will that pause be extended?
The governor today holding a news conference to discuss where Michigan is after the Thanksgiving holiday. Our Rod Maloney was on that Zoom presser and joins us live with the very latest information. Rod, good evening.
Good evening, Kimberly. Good evening, Devin. You know, the governor is kind of hedging on her decision right now. It's supposed to come up on the 8th, and she's not really willing to talk about it just yet because she really wants to watch the numbers, particularly as we get past Thanksgiving and the COVID numbers lag behind. If they go up, you can probably count on an extension. Let's see what she had to say.
Every health system in the state has seen growth in their hospitalizations from where we were just a month ago, and that is very concerning for everyone in the community. And so as we get, I think, a few more days of information in our belts, we'll be in a much stronger position to really assess if there are some things that maybe are safer to do.
The governor not wanting to extend today, but believes Thanksgiving travel that, in her estimation, exceeded what it should have been in Michigan could easily lead to a longer pause and also have a definite impact on the Christmas holiday season here. So much so, she is imploring Michiganders.
So we really are encouraging people not to travel for Christmas. To start figuring out, how do you Zoom to stay close? How do you drop off meals so you don't combine households in enclosed settings?
Still, for all the dire predictions of a somber holiday season, the governor is greatly encouraged by the promise of vaccines she and her staff believe will be available to Michiganders starting mid-month.
There is great hope on the horizon. We've seen significant progress in vaccine development from Pfizer, and even doing some of that work here in Michigan, and Moderna.
Now, one of the things the governor finds encouraging is that there has been a bit of a plateau in COVID cases over the most recent few days, and she thinks that's encouraging, but she still has to gauge what comes up later next week. Back to you.
And Rod, I know a report from the governor's task force on COVID racial inequality came out today. Did she comment any at all on that?
Oh, she had a lot to say about that, as did the lieutenant governor. We'll have the full details on that coming up on Local 4 News at 6.
We'll see you then at 6 o'clock. Rod, thank you. Well, today, the head of the department that issues Michigan's coronavirus restrictions outlined what it would take for the orders to be lifted.
That's Robert Gordon with the Department of Health and Human Services, echoing the governor's statement, saying they're waiting to see the impact from Thanksgiving.
We are not at the point of making a decision about what to do next with respect to this order because we want to gather as much data as we possibly can. Each additional day of data is revealing. That is particularly so because data around Thanksgiving are going to be critical.
Director Gordon attributes a slight drop in new cases to the state's 3-week pause. He spoke before the makers questioned the shutdown of many businesses and indoor dining.
With the levels of spread that we have in Michigan right now, there is no way to make people sitting around a table close together with masks off for an extended period of time a safe activity.
Gordon says it is too early to tell if the current dip in numbers is sustainable. And today, a group of restaurant owners struck a much more measured tone amid talks of reopening in violation of the state orders.
Now they say they plan to work on a compromise with Lansing as thousands remain laid off and some businesses face the very real prospect of shutting down for good. Sean Lay listened in on today's meeting. Sean, something definitely changed here.
At the meeting, but also on the street. I talked, Kimberly, today to a number of restaurant owners on the brink, and they said, look, we don't want to aid in the spread of this virus. We don't want anyone to get sick, but we cannot keep our doors closed any longer. They were ready to reopen December 8th and defy this pause, this order. Then they got attorneys involved to give advice, and the advice from the attorneys was stay closed, follow the orders. You could do your business more damage than you think.
It's devastating to me personally.
You can feel the pain in Joe Vicari's voice. His restaurant group has 22 restaurants. Thousands of your neighbors depend on working at them. 2,000 restaurants in Michigan. People's dreams have already gone out of business. With another so-called pause on the way from Lansing, perhaps, the Michigan Restaurant Association predicts 4,000 more will close, putting 250,000 people out of work. So why not open December 8th? Lawyers told restaurants to expect a state liquor control agent to be at the door if they open.
That means you're closed. Your liquor license is down.
Restaurants backing off and will not defy the orders. Multiple sources telling Local 4. Detroit's hot new food scene, many predicting many will close and it will never come back.
We absolutely hear the same thing, and it's devastating.
Governor Whitmer hoping for another federal stimulus and a $100 million state stimulus, but she also asked you to do this for restaurants.
Buy gift certificates for people for the holiday. If you're looking for gifts and want to also support your local restaurant, we want to keep them afloat.
The Vicari's reaction?
Well, I'll tell you,
We hope
we're going to
people
need, we appreciate people that are going to buy, if
buy
they were
gift
going to buy gift
certificates.
certificates, but we're going to need a lot more
Than
than
gift certificate sales.
to stay in business.
And keep in mind, when could you use those gift certificates? And the gift certificates don't really help employees in need right now. Still more to talk about here, guys. One, another restaurant owner told me that they had taken all the precautions. No one got sick in the restaurant. But right now, he knows so many people with the virus. That's totally different than, say, summer or even in the spring. It's just in his realm right now, so he kind of understands what's happening. He's trying to kind of divvy out PPE loans to make sure they last. The Vicari's, I asked them to name names. Look, name some restaurants who are on the brink who we might see close. Joe Vicari himself said 1, 2, 3, 4 of my locations may close, guys, in the next 2, 3, or 4 weeks. If we don't get that compromise, it's that bad right now. Back to you.
Yeah. Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't business owners, restaurant owners have a constitutional right to open their business?
It's a great question, and it was posed today to attorney Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson says there's nothing in the Constitution protecting any business owner or a restaurant owner from opening up. No protections at all. And remember what the governor did here, giving the power of the shutdowns or pauses to the health department. So now it's a public health situation, and that means liquor control officers can come in, shut you down, take your liquor license for a year, and that would do major damage as well.
Sure, yeah. All right, Sean, we appreciate it.
Well, let's move to the weather. Did you see that sunset behind Sean, by the way?
Gorgeous.
This is gorgeous, wasn't it? Not too bad a day for a Thursday in December.
Yeah, let's get over to Ben. Tracking a chance of snow for tomorrow. Is that right, Ben?
Yes, slight one, but it's still there, and we'll get to that in just a second. Storm Tracker 4 showing us that we do have some precip that's been showing up, at least on radar. They're sort of brushing the thumb, but that's far away from the radar site, and likely that stuff is not reaching the ground. But here's the setup for tomorrow, and you can see that sort of west to east flow is still there, but there's going to be one little area of precipitation rounding the bend that's going to clip parts of the area. So we'll talk about who's got the chance of snow tomorrow and who doesn't, and there will be a lot of us that don't see a flake at all. Here's the rest of the evening. At that fiery sunset sets us into the 30s overnight, and we'll talk more about the weekend, which doesn't look half bad, and this time of year that's a win. More on that in a few minutes, guys.
Take it. Okay, Ben, thank you. Black lawmakers in Lansing are sounding the alarm tonight, saying they've been targeted with threats. And as our Larry Spruill reports, one lawmaker he talked to says the threats are going well beyond someone saying to watch your back.
Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence says her and her colleagues have received threats before, but this time around is different. And now the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus says, based on the political and racial climate in our country, they are concerned. This is the letter drafted and sent from members of the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus, highlighting physical and death threats towards members of the caucus.
We have seen, unfortunately, during this current political climate, where people are resorting to more than just words. They are actually giving threats of violence against individuals.
Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence tells me that's the nature of their business. But based on what happened here in Michigan with the alleged kidnapping of Governor Gretchen Whitmer and the tension after the recent election, things have escalated.
It's bigger than just here in Michigan. It's around the country, and it's so heartbreaking. We're all looking over our shoulder, and this has to stop.
I asked Lawrence about the details of those threats.
Watch where you're going, don't come outside, things like you're gonna pay for this, and I'm watching you. When we see how it has elevated around the country, we have to pay attention to it.
That's why the caucus has reported these physical and death threats to the proper law enforcement.
I'm absolutely sure that there has been reports made of the threats that rise to the level of concern, and I expect them to do their job, and I have no doubt that they won't.
But in the end, Lawrence says they, as representatives of the people and the state of Michigan, have a job to do.
I want my colleagues, the Black Caucus, the Democratic Caucus, the Republican Caucus, I want all of them to be able to do their work in a safe way without fearing for their lives.
Larry Spruill, Local 4.
All right, Larry, it's the key to getting the world out of the pandemic, and it is being made here in Michigan.
New tonight, we're taking you to the small Michigan town where people are working day and night to make the coronavirus vaccine. Hank.
Has it been happening in your area? Big problems with mail delivery? Well, it's happening here in this community. And tonight we have important information for you coming up in my Help Me Hank report.
The U.S. reaches a grim milestone in the number of daily deaths from COVID-19. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at the current situation here in Michigan and why many experts fear it's going to get much worse.